we go again.
Okay. So Vince
McMahon
allegedly
is out here getting. Listen. I think that this. I don't know the details of how these allegations came.
That's what I was going to. I was going to
run. Let me run. Give me a rundown.
Okay. Allegedly, because he has not been proven guilty yet. But we just gonna give you what's popping in these streets. So Vince was over to WWE, and allegations came out that he had some sexual misconduct things happening, and he was what got him in the affairs and got that didn't get him in trouble. What got him in trouble is because he used corporate money to pay hush money to these people.
The last time,
okay. And there was I think there was I don't remember the amount of women, maybe like 31 or something like that. There was lawsuits and stuff, that at least 15 or 16 that he had covered up and got taken care of. Okay. But he used WWE money. Him and John Laurinaitis were named in the suit. So they let them go, or Vince retired. Okay.
Pause for a minute. John Laurinaitis, who is married to Nikki and Brie Bella's mom.
Yes. He also used to be, I think, Johnny Ace in
Johnny Ace, something like that. Yeah.
He used to ride around on the scooter to people. I forgot what it was, but he used to play a character on WWE as well. But he was president of talent operations or something like that.
Yeah.
So anywho, they let John Laurinaitis go. They fired him, and Vince retired. So then Vince wiggled his way back into WWE. He basically like, look, we getting ready for these the TV rights deal is about to come up. So I'm gonna come back and basically help get the TV rights deal done. And when he came back, he fired the people that didn't want him there. And he basically put in his contract, like, nope, you can't let me go. So then WWE sold to Endeavor. Endeavor created a company that's called TKO that has UFC and the WWE as one company. So under TKO, Vince no longer had the majority shares of WWE. Ariel Helwani, I think his name, is like over everything now. He was named the CEO. So then Vince had it in his contract where it was like, look, you can't get rid of me unless I die or become incapacitated. So he had that ironclad contract. But again, he don't have the majority shares. So they said, look, our stocks is going down because we got you still out here as the face. So we're going to have to put you to the side. Triple H, you go ahead and take over all creative decisions. Vince, you out. So Vince is sitting in the cut, making money. Like, okay, cool. Then drops this particular sexual allegations. But this time, this chick got receipts. Basically, the long story less long is there's a chick that he hired that he created a position for, and he was knocking her down. And then he was passing her off to John Laurinaitis. They was having threesomes. They was doing this. They was doing that. And then he just started pimping her out, allegedly, to other parties. Like he was showing pictures and stuff to the production staff, showing them and so the reason why Brock Lesnar was pulled from Royal Rumble is because in the suit it said that during a contract renegotiation in a certain year, I think it was like 2021 or 23 or whatever, or 2003, I'm sorry, there was a former WWE and UFC champion who Vince had gave her to in order to help with the contract negotiations. And so people was like, UFC champion, WWE champion. In the
it ain't Kid Shamrock.
Right. So it kind of just looked like it was Brock Lesnar. So they had to pull him quick. So now you got text messages upon text messages upon text messages.
She got the best receipts. She got the best receipt. Listen, her receipts are so good that they're redeemable anywhere, bro. Like it ain't like, listen, bro, listen, because let's get to this, bro. When you go through and you read her text messages that she has between her and Vince, you can kind of see how it started out where he was just knocking her down. And then for some reason, as it progressed into Vince almost like, yo, let's go ahead and have these threesomes jumping off, which is one thing that I'm blown away by, because Vince seems to be an advocate of it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, because he finds a way to pull John Laurinaitis into everything, right? The last of all the women that he had the allegations before, he was tied up in them things as well, though, right?
Hold on. So John Laurinaitis, I got to give you this one thing. One of the things, the details that she said that their boy Vince hired her. John Laurinaitis had a new position, and he ended up having a hotel room, and he sent her to him every morning and said, "You got to go serve him up before. That's how you gonna start your day. As a matter of fact, you gonna be known to John Laurinaitis as his breakfast."
Yeah. So listen, not just that, she tells Vince, yeah, man, the boy John Laurinaitis is talking about having some three ways with not Vince and him, but a separate three-way, right? And Vince was like, yeah, John just be wild like that, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta look out to him like that, though, right? So then she proceeds to go ahead and slide through with the boy John. So what's wild about this, right, is that when she slides through with him, Vince did is telling her, she comes back and tell him like, yo, yeah, I did it. The boy was out there wilding, said I'm a little sore. And Vince is like, yeah, that's part of the passion, is you being a little sore. Matter of fact, I'm gonna slide through. I gotta get some of that sore monkey, bro. And I'm blown away, because then Vince is telling her in other text messages, like, oh yeah, what'll be good? You with 3 big black cocks. And I'm just thinking like, wait a minute, Vince. 3, I can only think of 3. Listen, 3, 4, 5 black wrestlers, right? I'm thinking of New Day, which this is kind of crazy because listen, I'm thinking New Day because Xavier Woods already has a tape out there with the other referee and with Paige, right? They have a tape that's out there, right?
But we ain't finna implicate them. We ain't finna implicate them. Listen, we don't know that it was the New Day.
I'm thinking three black guys. I think the New Day right off the bat. And then I'm also thinking like, okay, then you got Ricochet, you got Street Profits. But Vince ain't even talking about him. Vince said, oh, you good with three other ones, right? And this is the part that I think is wild, all right? The part that I think that's wild about this is when he alluded to passing, he said, yeah, in the text messages, yeah, I show some of the guys from tech, we call them, our technical guys or whatever, and he was very specific. He said, I showed about 12 guys, right? I showed 12 guys your picture. All of them say, oh, yeah, she got a nice tail on her. She got nice boobs or whatever. And Vince is like, oh, yeah, she'll do all 12 of y'all. But she only going to do 3 at a time. She only good for 3 at a time, though, bro. And I think the part that blew me away by this is how liberal Vince is at basically passing this girl around. So when she said that she was basically sexually trafficked around, that's exactly how when you go through the description of this, of what happened in the receipt. So you can tell me it's alleged. You can tell me that Vince might say she's a disgruntled employee. Whatever you tell me that's disgruntled. The receipts from you say that you passed her around or alluded to you passing her around to at least 15 to 18 different guys, right? 15, 18, because you showed 12 guys from tech. You alluded to 3 black guys, and you already said that you would go ahead and do you knock down a threesome with her, and then John Laurinaitis had a threesome with. That's at least 18 guys right there that Vince has basically passed along. And listen, I think it's just blown away because Vince apparently loved the cakes, but he doesn't like them enough to where he ain't willing to share the cakes, bro. Like, listen, Ace Kennedy, I couldn't imagine. Let's just talk about this from a practical perspective, right?
Yeah.
And since the big homie Chris is out here in the comments, I couldn't imagine you coming across a girl and you said, golly, boy, these top 5 cakes. ever. My dude Charlie got to get up on this one. I got to put my boy Charlie up. Not just that. Let me call my boy Chris Top up. They so good, I can't even keep them to myself. I got to pack, and that's the part I'm blown away by. So when I look at Vince, what makes him to me seem to be such a predator is because the history, for one, of the other 30 girls, right? But at the same time, what makes Vince look like a predator is the fact that he feels so like empowered by his position to where this is regular. When she said that, oh, I'm still a little sore, you know what I'm saying? Vince was like, oh yeah, that is what it is. That comes with the game. That's the cakes I want. And then wait a minute, hold up. She says Brock comes through and says, oh, if I get them cakes, it ain't gonna be no good for y'all after I get these cakes, because I'm gonna tear it down. And Vince was so thrilled that all the homies is pounding out this girl. So I'm just like, bro, I know that I've heard the phrase, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Never in my life have I seen somebody make that more apparent than Vince.
Now listen, I did not watch, or I didn't read all the text messages, but I know she said that she told them that she was done. And and Vince was like, nah.
Vince like, nah, absolutely not.
Ain't no being done.
Vince like, I got a few more threesomes and a few more partners that I need to go ahead and pass these cakes to.
So that's what makes it look weird, because she asked out of it. Because here's the thing. Let's just keep it real. We just talking, right? If all of this stuff was going on and it was consensual.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I don't want to victim shame. Right. But I was talking to the research department about this last night, and she was like, listen, a lot of this seems like she was very complicit in this whole thing, because she basically was saying, like, I understand that was her job, and maybe she felt like the job was part of that she felt like that she had to keep doing that to keep her job.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. I get that completely. At some point, I think that when she was trying to be done with this whole thing, she actually had an NDA where she was paid out like $3 million or something like that, though, right?
No, the NDA came because Linda found out about it. Linda McMahon found out about it. She fired her, and they signed the NDA. But hold up. Vince still was smashing after the NDA.
Vince was still smashing after the NDA. Vince said, no, bro,
it ain't over. It ain't over.
Listen, bro. So that's what I'm saying, though, man. You think about that. Vince, it's not even so much, bro. I don't even think that it's about the sex for Vince. It's so much as the control. It's the authority, right? They always talk about that on there. We're the authority. And Vince took the authority in literal, real life, not as a job, not as a work, not as a character. He was like, no, this is the authority, though, bro. And that's what I think is crazy to me about it. So yes, I believe not just, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me about her being disgruntled. You can say, oh, she thought she was eligible for a pay increase and didn't get it, or she thought that she was in love with Vince and he wouldn't leave her, his wife, whatever you want to tell me, right? That's all perfectly fine. What I am saying, though, bro, is that when you tell me that Vince has just passed this woman around graciously to all of his partners, right? Then it also makes you think of like, oh, dang, if Vince been applying to all these threesomes, like, who's all involved with these? Like, who else? You know what I'm saying? Like, if John Laurinaitis pounded it out and John Laurinaitis had a three-way with her, it wasn't with, he had one with Vince, but who was the separate one? Who he recruiting?
Well, it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that, because wait a minute, there's more. The girl Ronda Rousey gets on X and she said, listen, since y'all boys is looking into Vince, y'all need to look into Bruce Pritchard, because that's his boy. When Vince was retired, he was sending all his stuff through Bruce Pritchard. So that's his avatar. That's his dude. Y'all need to look at Bruce Pritchard.
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not. Listen, you can't tell me. You can't. Now listen, I'm going to tell you my theory of the people that were involved. And I don't know the names. I'm just going to tell you the kind of people that I think would be involved. I think that it would be a John Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard, the people who are the more executives. They had to have known that Vince was going on, and I'm not going to say just enabled it. Enabling it is separate because you have other enablers who I think that they just look at Vince like the creepy old man. So those were the people who knew about it, who just was riding. But those were the people, the John Laurinaitis, the Bruce Pritchards, those are the people who was going. What doesn't surprise me if all three of them smash this girl at the same time, right?
But again, we can't implicate Bruce.
You can't implicate it. This is just my theory, right? Okay. My theory on this one. I don't want to get us. Right. Well, listen, you can't. Vince McMahon can't get us canceled, bro. Like, come on, man, get out my face.
But here's the thing. Let me ask you this question though, because this is some people keep bringing up, and I'm like, I just can't, in good conscience, loop him into this. People are thinking that Triple H had to know.
Hey, listen. You would be hard pressed to convince me that Triple H didn't know. And listen, I think that he may have knew from a distance. He may have thought something was going on. He knows Vince's behavior. Let me tell you how I know. Okay. Let me tell you how I know. There was this wrestler. I can't remember his name. I think it may have been Boy George. It was one of these old wrestlers, right? Old wrestlers. And they said that he was gay, but he was back in the day. It was like not even so much DL. They just didn't bring it up. But he would always be trying to holler at different wrestlers, right? Especially the young wrestlers. And everybody knew that even when he got to like an executive position, when he was just a behind the scenes guy, he would always be trying to make passes at the other guys. And everybody knew it, right? But he never was fired. He never did any of that other stuff though, bro. And everybody knew it. It was just culturally one of those things about him that people knew. And I think that culturally, this is what everybody know to be true. I don't, because if you can't tell me that Triple H heard this and was like, he knew, bro. Triple H